guys, so in this video I'm going to be going over The Flash 7/16, which aired tonight at the point in time of this recording. If you do enjoy the video, hit the like button down below, subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of the video. Fly to the intro, because I know this video is going to be long, and yeah, enjoy the video. It was a pretty damn good episode, if you ask me. Pretty much started off with someone on a news anchor or whatever, saying that the war is getting worse with Godspeeds attacking homes and pretty much just flat out chaos. So, I mean, they're attacking people in their homes. Central City's trying to be evacuated. And when Barry's watching the news, Nora showed up in Barry's dream or head or whatever you want to call it, saying that the future is in danger now, because something's going on. And Barry assumes it's because the Godspeeds are here, but we find out really why later in the episode. So then they went to Barry. I guess he went to City Hall because the Godspeeds went there. Or Barry was trying to get people out of City Hall before the Godspeeds went there, and they ambushed Barry. Barry got, I think it was 6 broken ribs and internal blood damage, or like, you know, that I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I mean, hopefully. So yeah, Barry had to get medical assistance and all that. Cecile was worried about Joe. I was seeing 7/15. The cliffhanger was the car that Kramer and Joe were in blew up. We found out the scene after that, that Joe and Kramer get out of the car. Now, if you didn't know, the actor who plays Joe West was confirmed for season 8. So that cliffhanger wasn't really a cliffhanger anymore. It was basically ruined because of that announcement. So I think we all knew that Joe was going to make it out of there. But Kramer was kind of surprised, though. I was kind of hoping she wouldn't. We're kind of scared Kramer, but, you know, whatever. I don't know. And they can't reach Joe, honestly, because in the middle of the road, the woods. And Joe can't get a signal either, so there's literally no getting backup for this at all. Barry wants to go to the future, but is worried it'll create a Flashpoint 2.0 where basically Flashpoint happens again, where everything changes, and only Barry will really know. So he decides not to then. And he's worried about the future because Godspeed's there, and he's worried that if Godspeed's here, then that must mean Nora's not there. Because why would Nora let the city go undefended? You know, and let Godspeed come to this time. Which I think is going to be questioned next episode. If you didn't see the ending, I'll get into it in a minute. But yeah, that's going to really be questioned next episode. If you don't already know what's happening in 7/17, you're about to find out. Dig ended up arriving and brought the weapon that we've been talking about for a while now, to help, and Cisco helped make the weapon, which was cool. I think that they managed to mention Cisco without actually having him there. It was pretty cool to see happen on the show. The part of the weapon was a movement plate, and it had a response of a picosecond, which is literally faster than everything. So, yeah, and John threw a ball at it, and it just froze it instantly, which is what the weapon was. It freezes anything that moves into it, which it could use against Godspeed. And Barry said that he thinks he can find an alley within the Godspeeds to try to help them stop this war before it gets more out of hand than it already is. Then we went to Dig having like a headache in front of Barry and everyone else that was there. I think it was Cecile, Chester, which Chester was a fanboy around John. Which is cool. It was funny to see because it kind of, I think it was Cisco. No, it wasn't. I don't remember who it was. But someone was a fanboy around Oliver and all of Team Arrow, so it's kind of cool to see Chester be that way around Dig. But yeah, Dig ended up getting a painting headache, and yeah. Ultraviolet wants to fight the rest of Black Hole, at least what's left of them, and Allegra didn't want to help because she wanted to help Team Flash with the Godspeed War. So, yeah. That was that little, like, side storyline of the episode. They put the same sound wave that they use in 715, which is Chester's plan to shoot it throughout Star Labs. It was originally like CCPD and all that, but you switch it to Star Labs so the Godspeeds in there when they attack could be distracted, and Barry could stop them, or at least distract them long enough, into Barry's earpiece so he can lure one of the Godspeeds out and trap them, which worked. I just want to say the running sequence there between Barry and Godspeed, when it slowed down, you can actually see Barry running. I think it was one of the best running scenes we've had this season. I would go as far as to say the entire show. I really loved it. It was one of the, I think, best running images we had throughout the show. Just want to say that. The device ended up working on Godspeed. It froze him literally in time. He couldn't move. And John and Bear brought Godspeed in. They put him in a cell, which I would assume was the one that held Thawne in and even Barry in at one point. And just hoping that he couldn't use his speed there. And they plan on interrogating him, seeing if they could help. Argus has been keeping tabs on Cecile's powers. And because John said that Cecile is leveled up along with everyone else in Team Flash. So I guess it's kind of cool to see that John, while he's not actually there, he's still keeping tabs on all Team Flash. Not in the bad way. It's like he's just trying to make sure that nothing gets out of hand more than it probably will be. Trying to make sure that everyone's, I guess you can say worthy enough to be on Team Flash, and why are they there? And I think that obviously it's important for Argus to keep track of that because, but yeah. Barry was interrogating one of the Godspeeds. They weren't talking. Barry started to leave, and the real Godspeed started to talk like a human. Or at least we thought it was a real Godspeed. Somehow, some way, that Godspeed could talk human. We haven't heard any of the Godspeeds actually speak human before, so I think we're all thinking this is the real Godspeed. But it wasn't. From my understanding, it was a clone. I'm pretty sure. I don't think they actually said it, but it's an advanced clone. Let's be real. But this is one of the Godspeeds that attacked the six that are working for August Hart. The Godspeed that Barry caught is trying to end the war, because when it ends, Barry's not going to have any speed left, and August Hart will kill every Godspeed because it's going to have infinite speed. So those six Godspeeds that were originally attacking Barry are trying to steal Barry's speed and give it to the real August Hart, the real Godspeed in the future. The reason why the Godspeeds are here is because the original August Hart is in this timeline, is in 2021, in Central City, and if they kill that August Hart, the other six that saved Barry that night when they attacked him, if they kill that Godspeed, or that August Hart will be erased from all the timeline, because this is the original timeline. Thawne mentioned that in Season 2 of The Flash, when he showed up then. So, it's kind of cool to see all that come together. I like that they mentioned that, because it does make sense. But yeah, so that's why all the Godspeeds are here in this time, to kill the prime August Hart, so that the future August Hart doesn't exist, can't become Godspeed, which you would think inevitably erases the other Godspeeds, I would assume. That's my assumption. But if they complete their goal of stealing Barry's speed, the real August Hart will come in and kill all the other Godspeeds. And probably Barry, I'd assume. But mainly the other Godspeeds. So Godspeed ended up tapping into the Speed Force in the cell. And it was because he's not... I think it was said that he's not actually like a real speedster. Like he's not like a real human with the speedster powers like Barry. Which is why when Barry's in a cell, his speed doesn't really work there. The reason why that Godspeed speed worked in there. Godspeed speed. I said this in my last video. It was so annoying saying Godspeed speed. Let's just go with that from now on. But the reason why Godspeed can interact with the Speed Force in that cell is because his speed is like artificial, kind of. It's not really his speed, because he's not really a person. If that was the real August Hart in that cell, then he wouldn't be able to use his speed because he's real. Not saying the other Godspeeds aren't real. My point is they're artificial, and they have artificial speed forces that they're all using based off the original speed force that Barry uses. It's a really complicated thing, but if you watch beginning of season 7, you should be understanding it a little bit, and I think having that storyline throughout season 7 helped with this moment. So if you don't understand it, go rewatch season 7, the beginning half. I think that might explain parts of it, hopefully. It did for me, at least. So Godspeed ended up breaking out of the cell and broke the device that helped catch him. And Godspeed was starting to steal Barry's speed, and Allegra came in and used her powers on Godspeed, which got him to go away. And then Barry snapped at Chester, and Barry and Dig had a heart-to-heart conversation about Nora. The way Dig said all the lines that he said, I can't remember on the top of my head, but it really did seem like Dig is worried that what's going on with him with the headaches, and that's been going on for months, I guess, by now. Like, this is gonna be it. Like, you can really tell that Dig's worried that this is gonna be the end. Like, this is the last time he's probably gonna see Barry or the rest of Team Flash. And I think we can really see that in Dig when he's here. It's really interesting to see him go through that. That was just me. You guys might have viewed it differently, but for me, at least, it really did seem like Dig was worried that he probably won't make it for another while. And we did learn that Dig's getting these headaches because of the Lantern Ring that we saw in Arrow 810 in the finale of Arrow. And he denied it, and they're trying to get John to join the Lantern Corps. That's why he's getting all these headaches. And Allegra ended up overhearing Dig and Barry's heart-to-heart and tried to use it with the Ultraviolet, who went to go fight Black Hole, while Allegra stayed. So, yeah. Cecile has been reading, or I guess Iris was reading Nora's journal. And she wasn't in the episode at this point. She was like a couple minutes later in the episode she showed up. And I was just looking for a way to find the real heart throughout Nora's journal to hopefully try to find something. And she ended up finding something in the journal that Cecile wanted to take John and Allegra on. And when Cecile and John started to leave, John started getting another massive headache. This wasn't like before. This was like a freaking migraine turned to 1,000. And Cecile tried to use her powers to figure out what's happening with John. And she described it as powerful and infinite, which kind of led us to believe it's a Lantern Ring. And later on in the episode, John confirmed that it is because of the Lantern Ring, because he denied the power that was given to him. He didn't want it, which makes sense. If you understand John, you would know he wants to be a father. Yeah, he's still sparring, he's still working with Argus, but Team Arrow's done. The heroes that were in it are still out there, but taking that power, and he didn't want to take that power. He still wants to be a father. He still wants to be there for his kids and his family and his wife. That's why he didn't take that power. But if he wants the headaches to stop, he has to take that power and become what they want him to become. So, yeah, very interesting to see him go through that. Barry ended up apologized to Chester and opened up the Speed Force and tried to go to 2049. But 6 Godspeeds were in the Speed Force, and Dion brought Barry out of the Speed Force and basically told Barry that the Godspeeds are siphoning speed from the Speed Force, and they're getting faster by the minute. Now, the reason why Dion pulled Barry out and not like the Speed Force Nora or whoever, was because the Speed Force Nora is trying to protect the Speed Force from being completely consumed by the Godspeed like it did with the Spectre. Now, obviously, this is different than the Spectre. Spectre's energy was way more powerful than Godspeed's energy, so it makes sense for it to be all over the Speed Force, pretty much. So, yeah. We learned why Iris is quote-unquote sick. She's moving in and out of the timeline for whatever reason. And Dion's keeping her safe by keeping her some time loopy thingy that's keeping her from literally vanishing throughout the timeline. So that's why she hasn't been there. A funny thing that John said in one of the Godspeeds when he shot a bullet at Godspeed and hit him, he said, Nanite's courtesy of Ray Palmer, which if you don't know why that's ironic and funny, and a good line, is because Oliver said that when he shot a nanite arrow at Reverse Flash in season 1. And it was a pretty funny scene. And it was funny here. It was a pretty cool thing to do. We learned that Kramer ended up dying in that explosion that killed her unit. And somehow Kramer's alive. And also the guy that Kramer and Joe are going after, that guy died several times. And he's still there. So he's a meta. And I think it's fair to say Kramer's a meta too. Somehow, some way, Kramer and that one guy, I'm forgetting his name, are metas now, even before, I'm assuming, the Bargosa explosion. I don't think they said really when this happened. But yeah. The real August Hart they found and then brought him back to Star Labs. He has no signs of the Speed Force in him, and he's losing his memories, and they end up giving him some drug thing to help him get his memories back, and the only thing he says is his name is August Hart, and they figure out that this is the real August Hart. Nora and Bart showed up at the end of the episode. If it's just because it's the first time we're seeing Bart on the show, I thought he was overly excited. But I mean, when we saw a minute of him, I'm not going to judge that character yet until we see more. Yeah. That's pretty much the episode. I enjoyed it. I think it was a pretty damn good episode, if you ask me. 717 is the 150th, so it's going to pretty much be like a special episode. But also continuing the 2-part finale, which starts next week and on to the week after. Dig will be in Superman and Lois 113, which is next week. So might want to go watch that. Even if you haven't seen Superman and Lois, there might be something about Dig and the Lantern Ring. Who knows? So you might want to go watch the episode when it airs next Tuesday. I will be doing a review on it next Wednesday. So yeah. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching. And have a good day. Have a good night. Thanks for the support. Appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.